Welcome, everybody, to a special edition of the Dumb Marks podcast. Tonight, we're going to be discussing our review of the 2025 edition of Superman. Right now, you have the dynamic duo here. We're still waiting for the other Man of Steel to arrive. Jason will be with us shortly, hopefully. My plan was to kind of ambush him as soon as we started this show, but that's not happening now, so that'll have to wait. Donald, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
Not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been almost a month since we saw Superman.
Mm-hmm.
It's been almost a month since it's come out, so about time we just sit down and talk about it. So if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about the movie. If you have, hit us up in the comments throughout the night. Let us know your thoughts as we discuss different things. So I guess it's easy just to start. Donald, you say that you're the DC novice.
Yes.
Without going into anything, how did you feel about Superman?
I thought it was a good movie. A very good, very good story. I really like Lex Luthor. That's probably like the biggest highlight of the movie. Um, I do like Man of Steel a little bit better. I'm not sure because I like the darker, like the darker story tone to it. But that's just me. And there was a couple questions that I wanted to ask you guys since I'm the DC novice. I don't know much, so I'm on the other end this time.
This man says he liked Man of Steel better, which was actually what I was going to hit Jason with. That was actually going to be the question, because as we walked out of the theater, the three of us did not talk about the movie much. We basically were like, we'll save it for the podcast whenever it happens. Jason pretty much said, whether he was joking or serious, I don't know, which is why I was going to ambush him with the question. So you like Man of Steel better? Where me and Jason are Superman through and through. So since you like Man of Steel better, give me your reasons why, because Jason might have different reasons to why he liked it. So I kind of want to compare that now.
Again, the darker nature of the storytelling I enjoy a lot more, probably because that's how my side of the person, like, that's my personality. I like darker tone stuff more than I like lighter tone stuff. To seem like that this one had like a little bit too much comedy for me in like a superhero movie, like it was trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy esque Superman.
I did ask you that after the movie ended. How you felt about the comedy in it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good balance, but it just seemed like a little too much for Superman. I don't want Superman being like dead serious like Batman, but I needed it to be like a little more serious tone than what it was.
Okay.
Hence why I like Man of Steel a little bit better.
Have you watched all of the Superman movies, or are you more just the Man of Steel stuff?
Oh no, I watched all of them, like Christopher Reeves, and all the way up to now. Yeah, so I've seen the 4 original ones, the Brandon Roth one, and Man of Steel in this one.
Okay.
So but I didn't watch any of the TV shows. I didn't watch any of the TV shows at all.
Okay, understood. Where do you, like, when you think Superman, what's Superman to you? Is it Man of Steel? Is it Christopher Reeve? Is it Brandon Routh?
It is Christopher Reeves. Like that. Okay. That's Superman. That will always be Superman. Just like Sean Connery will always be James Bond.
Understood. We got someone about to do the run-in, I think, here. But yeah, that okay. So at least I know that Christopher Reeves is Superman to you.
Yes,
which is good, because that's kind of like whenever you're like do the lie detector, like that's your balance there.
Yes, it is.
Welcome. The gang's all here. So we're talking right now, asking Donald basically you know, he said that he enjoyed Man of Steel more than this Superman.
I'd have to agree.
That was going to be my starting point to the show, because I told everybody we hadn't talked about it, but the only thing that you had said to me was you liked Man of Steel better. I wasn't sure if you were serious, joking. I just let it go until we came here to talk about it. So
Yeah,
here's your platform, which surprised me. But
that's number 2 behind 78.
Man of Steel.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Why?
Tier might be 1B. So why?
Yeah, why?
Yeah, you about to
Not judging.
No.
like
Asking, yeah.
I just like the tone of it. Like the tone was serious, gritty. When people hate that dark stuff with Snyderverse, I love it. Give me the dark grittiness.
I can see the family resemblance now. That's pretty much exactly what Donald said, you know.
Okay.
Sum up too. So where you guys know I'm not a Man of Steel fan.
Yeah,
You know, like,
never was. I remember you walked out the theater and was like, what was this?
Yeah. Like, so after this, I've been into Superman again, like rewatching things. I saw it I actually went back and saw it a second time in the theater, planning on going next week again to see it a third time in the theater, which is rare for me to do anything like that. Universe. Okay. So I'm almost caught up with Phase 5, DJ. I finished the Marvels this week, and I watched Guardians 3 this week. So once Thunderbolt happens, then I wanted to be done with Phase 5 before I saw Fantastic Four. Just I'm not done with the TV shows, but yeah, Man of Steel for me, I didn't mind the dark overtones to it. Like that, I didn't have any issue with that. If you were reading Superman at the time, which was DC's New 52 era they had come out with, that's the way they were going with Superman. You know, it was, you know, no shorts over the tights, you know, so that costume matched. It was a little bit edgier. You know, some people had a problem with Man of Steel whenever he killed Zod.
Yeah.
You know, and that was the edginess that they were trying to give Superman at that time in the comic. So I can understand why some people don't like that, but I could at least understand it, you know, where they were trying to match at the time. Tornado taking Papa Kent, Fortress of Solitude spaceship, prequel of Lois knowing who he was, things like that, like Fisherman Superman, like things like that. Just like
the details.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
it made him more human than just the reporter.
it did, and so it was more. And me and JJ have actually been going back and forth on this too since he saw Superman. Man of Steel was more. He's Superman, you know, being that way, and where Clark's just his cover up. Where in kind of like this and in the comics, Clark's who he wants to be. You know, in a way that's just his cover up, you know, so he can have that alternate life outside of being Superman.
Okay.
So it was a completely different take in Man of Steel, where Superman 2025 just, I thought, matched the comics very well. If you've read the comics growing up, this is a comic movie that you probably haven't seen since Superman the movie in 1978.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my issue. He brought a comic book to life, and I didn't care for that aspect of it.
Okay.
It was like watching the animated series.
In a way, yeah.
Like some of the characters came off very animated like that, or straight off the pages. Give me down to earth stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so you wanted a more realistic take.
Yeah. Yeah, but I know this is how James Gunn does, and
Mhm.
yeah, you,
Yeah.
you either love it or you hate it. In the middle.
DJ. um, yeah, I could see that. You know, if you, and I know you read comic books, so it's not
Mhm.
like you were just Superman only this way and not that way with it. It very like Green Lantern was very off the comic book page.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was worried on two things
Mhm.
more than anything. Was I going to hate Crypto,
Didn't.
and was I going to hate the guys that control the fortress, like
Okay, the
Okay.
bots,
the
the
robots?
robots.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
And both of them I actually didn't mind. Like, surprised me that I didn't mind them, because you know how much I can be nitpicky on stupid shit. And walking out of this movie, like, don't get me wrong, there's things I can complain about with
Mhm.
it, but it's so, for me, it's so minuscule at the end of the day.
Dwayne did that.
Everybody's doing it, so we might as well do it too.
Yeah, it's Dunmark's unreal.
We might all bow out of wrestling soon. So
It's getting there. Tune in to that on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, because we got a lot to talk about that this week.
there were things I loved about it. Like I
Yeah.
love the casting. Lex was real great. Crypto was
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
I thought I'd hate that Kaiju because I thought it was like the big bad, but I actually enjoyed that. So
Okay.
there was stuff I liked about it. I'm not going to totally shit on the movie. I'd go back and watch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said at the beginning. I said Lex was probably like the biggest star for me.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a Lex Luthor that I enjoy a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, Ty. Gonna have to let us know when that happens.
Nice.
I agreed. Lex. Now, Jason watched Smallville. Donald, I know you didn't.
Mhm.
We'd already touched on that. This, for me, and Jason, I want to hear what you think. For me, Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor in Smallville was my favorite take on Lex up to this movie. Not saying Nick Holt overshadowed him,
Mhm.
but for a movie representation of Lex, this is the best movie adaptation of Lex that I've ever
Mhm.
seen.
It's like Rosenbaum didn't have that. I don't want to say the need. Not beating Superman was killing this one in Superman or in the Superman movie. It was like that was his main state. Like I have to beat Superman, and it was eating at him. So that's what I liked about this one.
Donald?
I just find it funny that like I know Lex is like smart and all that stuff, but he was actually like saying the commands whenever Superman was fighting whatever the guy was,
Mhm.
Ultraman or something like that.
The Ultraman,
Yeah, he was saying the commands and Superman was getting his ass whooped. Now for me, I'm not used to seeing Superman get a beating like that unless it's like by Doomsday or Darkseid.
Mhm.
So just seeing him just getting the brakes beat off of him by basically an avatar was shocking to me.
I mean, you met your clone. You met your match.
Well, I didn't know that until
Okay.
you
So
know
then,
Sure.
until it revealed, and I was like, oh wow. I was like, oh, okay, But I didn't need like, okay, that's the dark side of Superman and all that stuff with the longer hair and everything. And I was like, yeah, time out. This is too much, man. I was like, man, where you guys at? I need to get this off my chest.
Which so much of Lex in previous iterations, and I'm talking even TV shows and movies, he was comical.
Yes.
Or just everybody else took care of shit for him. So it's like you're used to Otis, who was always his henchman. Yes, he was there in the room, still, doing stuff with Lex in this movie. But he wasn't as much of a joke either as he had been in previous. And Lex was so much more hands-on than you've really seen him in a lot of stuff, which was what Rosenbaum did in Smallville too. Yeah. But at that point, you hadn't seen him completely become full Lex yet, because if you haven't seen Smallville, for those of you that haven't, the ending is Clark becoming Superman. So the whole Superman versus Lex is the future, which
did it happen?
Kind of an interesting thing, where this movie starts saying he's been Superman for 3 years. It's not the same, but you can kind of jump in that way.
Okay.
And Ty, I agree with you. Ty says Michael Rosenbaum, Nicholas Hoult, and animated series Lex are the Trinity.
Don't sleep on John Cryer. He did a good job.
No.
I know you hate him. and he was a hands-on. He was a hands-on Lex.
Like, I didn't watch everything that he did as Lex. I'd watch was it Crisis on Infinite Earths? I saw that. Like little things like that I'd seen, wasn't interested. Lex and Superman Lois, Jason, man, you had touched on that a few months ago. He was different. Wasn't bad, just different.
Mm-hmm. I like that take. He was just like a badass.
Yeah. So much more.
Yeah.
And one of my issues with Lex in this movie at the end, and I've since back thought about it more and have become okay with it. After I walked out of the theater, I was like, why'd you make Lex cry like a little bitch? I was like, he's a badass Lex all the way up to that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I sat there and thought back again, we're 3 years of this at this point for the movie universe. It's 3 years that Clark's been Superman. And so this is probably really the first time that Lex has been, has gotten his way his whole life, probably up to this point. So this is probably the first time that he's ever been taken down a peg. So I looking back on it, I was like, this is just gonna, if they decide to continue with Lex and however this universe continues, another sequel or whatever they spin off on it, I think he's only going to come back more pissed off.
Yeah, more villainous.
Like, one of the things I thought I was going to be spoiled on was I was at Target and I saw they had like a 4-pack of the Superman figurines.
Yeah.
And one of them was Lex in his suit,
Mm-hmm.
like the Superman suit. And I was just like, they're jumping to this already. And they didn't, so that's something that could happen possibly down the road. And if it does, that's going to be another badass Lex. That's just going to be ready to really kill Superman at that point. Like, I've tried other things. Now it's my turn to do. So, talked about Lex. Thoughts on David Cornswet as Superman?
When I see this dude's picture at work, he looks more like Tom Welling every time I have to double take. There's like a poster on an end cap, and I look like he just looks like Tom Welling. Like, the guy fixed the mold. He did a real good job.
I agree. Donald?
He did good enough for this movie. Again, he's not Christopher Reeves. He's not Henry Cavill. So better than all the rest.
I liked him, and it's again one of those things that I took back afterwards, thinking he's still naive. He's still farm boy Clark, in a way, as Superman, because this was his first real test as Superman.
Still has hope.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, the world hasn't cut him down a peg yet. Like,
He played a
I
good
think
Clark.
Mhm.
For me, best Superman, I think that we've seen that you can look at him as Clark and Superman and can sit there and say, oh, I could see why people don't see him
Mhm.
as two, like as one person,
Yeah.
know. Like so many people have always said that, on any show. Like, how do they not know he's not Superman? Like this one I thought did a great job of it. So we're talking about Clark scenes there. One of the scenes that's kind of getting being talked about, good and bad, is the opening interview scene. Whenever Lois interviews him. Give me your thoughts on that.
That was interesting because he was playing like both roles at the same time, but he was playing like more Clark because he still wanted to protect himself as Superman, so he was watching what he was saying. You know, it didn't to a point there like Lois was like trying to push him, to give out more information, but he was so subtle and was like, "No, I can't do that."
Agreed. Jason?
I just enjoyed it because he's not tied down to anyone. You think he's like you want to say he's an American, but he's here to save the world. So you have to think how he's thinking and where he's coming from. So that's what I enjoyed about that. Him defending himself and why he has to try to save everybody and not just pick a side.
No, I agree with that. I feel like, again, this talked about how he's Clark and being a little naive. That was proven because at this point he's only interviewed himself, from what they were saying. So this was his first real interview with somebody. She was asking the hard-hitting questions here that he wasn't necessarily prepared for in a way. So it kind of showed that he thinks he's 100% Superman at this point, and this showed some of his weaknesses and being able to separate Superman and Clark in a way was one of those weaknesses at that moment. So that'll take us in. Thoughts on the casting of Lois?
She ain't anime series Lois. And then plus she was giving off Maggie Gyllenhaal vibes as Rachel from The Dark Knight. I don't know if it was because of her clothes or like the way that she was talking, but she was acting like a split image of, that Rachel from The Dark Knight.
They gave you a more youthful Lois. You're thinking of a more I don't know how to portray you. You had Terry Hatcher, you had Erica Dorrance. They were more. They fit the mold of a Lois Lane. She just looks like you threw a skater girl in a reporter's office. So that's what it felt like to me.
Punk rock,
yeah.
Yeah. If those are the three, which as they toured, those are the three main cast members. I definitely did feel that she was a little bit of the weaker one out of the three. Like maybe like they could have done somebody a little bit better, but the focus was so heavy on Superman and Lex in this movie. Maybe she gets the shine next movie. That kind of proves why she deserves to be Lois. I mean, we'll have to see.
But then you have to think 3 years in, they're starting out, so it's like you expect a youthful, Lois. But it was just a different take for me.
Because in a way, like if you look back in the comics and other shows, Lois doesn't become the hard-hitting reporter. Like she is, but once she starts covering Superman, is like when she wins her Pulitzer and things like that in the story. So, now that she's starting to interview Superman, there might be that growth, that's going to come with that in the future. All right, Ty brought up, did we talk about the Krypton twist yet? No, we didn't. So let's get into that now. Early on in the movie, Clark from he gets taken back to the fortress. His Krypton parents, their message to him is playing because it soothes him. Superman, and it's Bradley Cooper, and I don't know the other actress's name that was playing. Bradley Cooper was Jor-El, and then the other actress was playing Kal-El's mom. At first, I had to do a double take. I was like, "Is that Lady Gaga?" And then the rest of the movie, I was like, "They should have cast Lady Gaga."
Looked her up, but I forgot.
Yeah. So with that, they have their message that was sent to Clark in the ship. The message is some of the message is lost in transportation, so he only watches to a certain point. Lex breaks into the Fortress of Solitude. The engineer becomes the data bot, and she retrieves the full message. So Lex, the engineer, is there anybody else that was with them? Oh, Ultraman. They destroy the fortress. That was one scene there. I really enjoyed the scene. But whenever the engineer, she has this one scene where like she's going to attack one of the bots, and she kind of like does this like metamorphosis flip, like where she's standing like kind of like almost like free walks and like remember the old Power Ranger morpher, like something like she pulls that. I was like, it was cool, but you could have saved the film like $5 billion right off of that scene. Like you just wasted a shitload of money just for that scene. Like it was cool, but was it needed? Like nah. So she deciphers the message, and Lex broadcasts the message that his birth parents sent him to Earth to basically take over and rule. They have played this in the comics before. They have played this in other stories before. Do you guys like this, or do you prefer the more natural story of you're sent here to do good?
Oh, man, that sounds like the plot of Dragon Ball Z right there.
In the movie, was it authentic?
Say that again.
In the movie, was it authentic? Because I still believe it wasn't.
I think we're still going to get some story out of this.
Okay.
And Ty even says he thinks it's going to change later. I agree with that. I think this is all we know at this point. I think there's going to be more to this story later. But did you like that twist for this movie, though?
Just the takeover?
Yeah.
If it was Lex that changed the encryption,
okay,
or the decipher of it, then that'll play better out for me, story wise.
Okay. Yeah,
just to show how far he'll go.
I didn't like it because that didn't feel like Superman at all, or like his parents, especially Jor-El, when he wanted to save life. I'm just gonna send my son just to destroy. So I'm right there with Jason. I think that was just Lex tampering with the message itself, just to get the world against them.
So Lex using AI to alter the message.
Yeah. Or James Gunn watching a bunch of Dragon Ball Z and was like, "Yeah, we can pull this."
I'm checking out Ty's message here. This story, Ty, I think it could play into that way. I also think I remember in Smallville, they didn't really use the mom. It was more Jor-El that was the focal point in Smallville. And Clark and Jor-El many times had falling outs of what Jor-El wanted Clark to do and what Clark thought he should be doing, because his parents are telling him, no, we're raising you to be a good person. We're raising you to be human. This is what you need to be. And more so even what's in Clark's heart. instead of hearing what Jor-El is telling him to do. But you find out later in Smallville that the message that Jor-El's trying to tell Clark and what Clark's perceiving it as are two different things in a way, too. Like, what's in Clark's heart is pretty much what Jor-El's telling him to. He's just trying to test him, do these trials to make him into eventually Superman. So I don't know if that's the way they're going to go. I don't know if it's going to go the way that you guys are thinking, where it's Lex controlling this narrative instead. I mean, we'll have to wait and see how this plays out, or kind of what Ty's talking about, where the story's going too. So right there, you have multiple directions where it could go. So does it stay true? Is this going to be the canon, or is it going to be something different?
Yeah, because as soon as that message came out, the crowd turned on him real quick.
Yeah,
like wrestling fans. Fickle.
I don't know what you're talking about.
My thing is, why is everybody always outside? Like it was a kaiju and everybody was just walking around like, okay.
Yeah. Agreed. I agree with you, Ty. Let it cook and see how this ends up playing out. I like that scene, Jason, because it's like he comes out and he's like the gremlin, basically, when he's released.
Yeah.
And then, turns into
like
monstrosity. And it's just like it was kind of just different. Yeah. Like, and that's typical Superman comics too. At the same time, like it reminded me. It wasn't, but it reminded me a lot of like Parasite. So, like, I know it wasn't, and Parasite, even in Superman Lois, was completely different than what Parasite normally is in the comics too. But that's what it gave me vibes of. So I think that's stuff we're going to be seeing more. Mm-hmm. And then even watching Guardians 3 this week, it's just like, boy, did I see. You guys know how I feel about Guardians. Like, I'm not a huge fan. Mm-hmm. Like, I got to watch them, but like, I'm not, 100% sold on Guardians and into it. But it's just like, I'm sitting there watching it this weekend. I'm like, this is what James Gunn does. Like, I could see the influence from that in Superman too. Like the whole time. Like, as I'm watching it, just going like, yeah, like this, the monsters and just like the storytelling, like different things, like, yeah, just our friend JJ, he brought up to me, like, James Gunn storytelling is centered around like family you're not born with, almost. It's like,
yeah,
you can kind of see that, like how, especially with like Guardians and Suicide Squad, and even more so like with Superman with the Justice Gang, which I think we're gonna have to get into in a second, and his Daily Planet crew. Like, he has like basically has 3 families that he goes back and forth on. Do you see similar things to that, or?
Go, JC, go.
What were you? What was the question?
Like, do you see like similar parallels in James Gunn's stories?
What is the family you're not born with, or whatever?
Yeah.
It's hard to say because like Guardians was made like how long ago? Like in comics, like way before James Gunn even was directing.
Yeah.
So
and you pick 2 ragtag bunches like Guardians and Suicide Squad. So do they plan on doing the Justice Gang?
They haven't said yet.
Another Supergirl in the book, and then there's supposed to be a Wonder Woman.
That's been rumored. There's also rumored Batman too.
If we're getting standalones, then you might as well just. We don't need all the extra characters.
To be truthful, they just need Mr. Terrific. Everybody else can go.
Nah, you.
So right now the plan is, so Peacemaker is canon into this universe.
Okay.
So I think James Gunn said this next season of Peacemaker is going to take place about a month after the events of Superman. And he kind of even said that for people that didn't know what his vision is, for this universe, you'll know a little bit better after Peacemaker's over with.
So where's Peacemaker set?
What do you mean? Like what? Like town? Or
Is it like across the river too?
probably?
Because
Everything across the river.
Yeah.
you were splitting Metropolis.
Mm.
It didn't feel like a world event. Could have got there.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how that actually plays into Peacemaker.
If you've watched the trailer, and I don't know if you have,
No.
it seems like the what they call it, the thing that they were going into. That's
the pocket universe.
The pocket universe.
Okay.
I think we're going to be seeing that.
Okay.
Basically, like that. That's what the trailer looks like. After that, they're talking about Mr. Terrific show. Jimmy Olsen's supposed to be getting a show. Supergirl, you said that's next year, so that's the movie next year. After that, yeah, rumors are a Batman movie down the way, a Wonder Woman possibly down the way, and the crew is signed on for a sequel. They don't know when it's happening. Like he said, he's not rushing into that.
And I kind of want to see how you do a Batman in this universe.
There's two things I've heard on that. That Robert Pattinson, like his Batman, like they might be doing a sequel to that. And that's just going to be canon.
That feels like two different universes.
Yeah, they already announced that.
That's two different universes.
Ty's right, on where Darkseid debuted in Jimmy Olsen.
Really?
Again,
remember, I'm the DC novice. I don't know. I just see Jimmy Olsen as a side character,
And usually,
the co-signer, Yeah, Clark.
Why is every woman attracted to Jimmy Olsen in this movie?
I have no idea.
Like you want to give me like the nerdy girls of the planet are into him? Cool. Like I can understand that. One of the things that Jason, I had texted you that I didn't pick up on in the movie was that Eve that was with Lex is Miss Tessmacher, and who has been in every Superman movie, and
I don't remember her too much in the original, but this one she came straight out the comic book pages. Like she was just she was a character.
Yeah.
It felt like she was like over the top. So that was just what kind of threw me off about that. And
it was definitely a modern take on it.
And in Supergirl, she was a more serious character.
Mm.
Okay. She wasn't the ditzy type.
Which they definitely, and that's hard to say how Miss Tessmacher really is going to be in this universe if they continue to use her, because she's basically acting as an influencer throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Taking the selfies, taking the videos, but you find out later that there's a purpose to that. So is that really who she is, or is that just the facade that she was trying to put on with Lex? Like that to me, like I think that might be who she is, but I'm kind of interested in seeing if there is any character development later down the road. But really, Jimmy Olsen, and he's the one that shot her down. Come on. There's only so much suspension of reality I can do here.
Only in the Gunverse.
Okay, one of the other things I had issue with was the Justice Gang. Didn't mind them, but why are you calling yourself the Justice Gang when you're wearing the Justice League uniform? Like, that's the part that I had with. Did you like that in the movie? Do you think that should have been held off?
Them in it?
Yeah.
Them in it or the Justice Gang?
Them in it. Totally.
Oh, them in it? Yeah, I don't mind it. Yeah.
And your thoughts on the
we should have seen more of them,
The Hawkgirl wasn't believable to me. because I know the actress from a different show. So I just saw her in that show, so wasn't believable. The Green Lantern was way too over the top for my liking. Yeah, way too over the top. I'm used to who was it, John and Hal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was like complete, like that blew my mind. There, I was like, I didn't know they had a Green Lantern like this.
Yeah,
You know?
more of an asshole Green Lantern.
Yes, mm-hmm.
Which is Nathan Fillion.
Mm-hmm.
That was him playing that role.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I had no problems with Mr. Terrific and all the stuff that he was doing.
I had the problem with Mr. Terrific.
You said something, and I want
to first whatever that floating little contraption was on was ass.
Okay.
That was terrible. But he came. You want to talk about straight out of the comic books? They pulled him straight out of the 70s, like straight out of a Luke Cage, Power Man comic book. Like he was one. I was waiting for him to say Jab Turkey. Like he was.
And everybody had on biker coats.
That was the uniform.
He had a dope ass outfit though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just noticed that now. Everybody had a biker coat on.
That's James Gunn's vision.
And that was something that I was when Mr. Terrific and Lois go to the Pocket Universe, like to Lex's camp, wherever that was. I'm interested in seeing Lois's backstory, because most of Lois's backstory for years has been she's an army brat.
Mm-hmm.
She grew up on that, where she goes to this, to be around stuff, and like she just felt like it seemed like she felt like she was out of her element there. So I don't know if that's her backstory in this as an army brat or not.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. It's good to see Darwin got to live. What up?
Say that again, Jason.
It's good to see Darwin got some justice. Darwin from what was it? First Class?
First Class, yeah.
Yeah.
He needed to die anyway.
I'm trying to think of anything else that really happened. Anything that you guys are thinking from the movie that
I didn't
discuss?
I didn't know the guy who was who like Molecule Man or something like that, who was holding Clark in the Pocket Universe. I didn't know he was a good guy. I thought he was a bad guy the whole time. Every time I see his figure and all that stuff, I thought he was a bad guy.
They could have done without all that, like the octopus head and all that stuff. Yeah, I tapped out. I know it's comic book. Yeah, that was too cheesy for me. But for me, this movie, I didn't feel anything. Like there was until like the kid was holding up the flag saying Superman.
Okay.
Superman, I felt nothing. Like in like MCU, you get feelings. You get the oh shit moments. You get the Milner, Cap grabbing the Milner. You get Iron Man dying. You feel something. This was just like.
Okay. See, I felt a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Like when one thing that you did not get in this movie was him, in his suit, giving you the suit reveal.
Yeah.
So like there was the one scene, I think, when he was battling I forget what you called like the mutant. They just did like a 360 camera angle of him to like showcase the S on the chest.
Yeah.
I kind of liked that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt like that delivered for me a little bit. I like that. I liked the kids whenever like they hung up the Superman flag and stuff like that. Like we're looking for him, like hope. They were looking for hope, and which is what Superman's always been about in a way.
Yeah, but we need a war in every Superman movie. Lazy writing.
It's Taking 101. Yes. That was a very good scene.
Yeah, I do
Whenever.
agree with that. Yeah,
And like Lex just looking like, I thought that would have lasted longer, and just like, fuck it, and just move on. Like, I'll be back again tomorrow, and just that, like that was pure Lex, like just not giving a shit, and like the thing that you're just missing out on. What was the thing I think a lot of people talked about, and the cartoon that's on YouTube, how it should have ended, where like they make fun of Superman, Batman all the time. Their take on how Superman should have ended was when Superman breaks into Lex's office, going, "Where's the dog?" And Batman comes down and goes like, "You ready for me yet?" He goes, "Can I just get a movie by myself?" And Batman goes off, and like him and Lex are arguing, and just go like, "Where's the dog? Where's the dog?" Then somebody else comes in.
why did he say Martha?
And then all of a sudden, like as they're still talking about the dog, then John Wick pops in, just be like, "Where's the dog?" It's just like, I think that's how everybody felt. Like, I think that's one of those things now. Like anytime you mess with a dog in a movie, I just feel like, oh, they learned from John Wick.
But if that's the case, I want to see how Supergirl goes. It being her dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which this movie, James Gunn said he played off of All-Star Superman, the comic and the cartoon animation movie. Their Supergirl is going to be based off of a Supergirl comic, from what they were saying. Let me see if I find that here. But so there is going to be, they feel like the strongest that Supergirl can be. Was she needed in this movie? Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Was she needed in this movie? No. Like, I kind of hoping that maybe she actually did something compared to just what coming and getting Crypto.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a cameo for a future.
But so your take on that? Just did you
The cameo?
Just a cameo for you.
I wish she would have shown up like in the fight scene or something.
Okay.
And like just done something, but you know, her stumbling in drunk, you know, like, and him being worried about her, like, I guess we'll have to wait and see what that movie becomes.
So I'm feeling hers might be like a redemption type movie.
Yeah.
Since, you know, she was supposed to be there to protect Superman and now she has no purpose. So maybe they build off that.
And don't you got a war to fight in Westeros coming up soon?
And a flashback scene.
So, all right. Anything else from the movie before we were? Anything you like, didn't like, that you don't think we talked about that we needed to talk about? I know we're missing shit. I know we are, but
from
Ultraman. Oh, go ahead.
From all the Superman movies, I'll probably put it fourth best on my list.
4.
Yeah.
Do you know the ranking?
Well, what's 3 and 2?
1 is the original.
Yeah.
2 is Man of Steel, and 3 is Superman 2.
Okay.
Original Superman 2.
I'm about to come to the screen and choke you out if you said Superman Returns.
The only good thing about that when we saw that movie was the film burning, or the kitchen caught on fire. Yeah, the kitchen caught on fire, and we had to leave.
At the movie theater.
At the movie theater, the kitchen caught on fire. Yeah, so everybody had to leave.
That was a sign. What were you going to ask, Jason?
I was just what was his ranking?
Well, okay. You gave your ranking. You said for it. Like Man of Steel was 2 for you.
Man of Steel is 1.
I mean-
No, 1A, 1B. I'll go with 78, 1.
Okay.
Man of Steel 2. Superman 2025. 3. Oh, it was Ultraman.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on him?
I didn't have any problem with Ultraman.
No.
I enjoyed it. I kind of felt like maybe they should have just saved it for Bizarro. But then maybe this is Bizarro. I don't know if that's the route they're going to go with that, but
He beat him into Bizarro.
I mean, technically, Bizarro is just to be from another world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the complete opposite. But
what was it? Superman and Lois. Didn't he turn into?
Me and Ty might agree on some stuff.
Didn't Bizarro turn into Doomsday?
Yes.
See that they need to stick to one. So I don't want him to turn into Bizarro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess if he does.
When me and Jason was talking about the movie just a little bit at work, I told him, man, when I first saw Ultraman, I thought that was Black Noir from the Bull.
Yeah.
From the Bull.
JJ said.
I was like, Black Noir.
Like they kept him hidden until the final reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, you didn't know it was actually
Yeah.
a doppelganger. Yeah.
Yeah, I was okay with it. Like,
Mhm.
I know Ultraman is in the comics. I don't remember in the comics if it's actually like Clark or if I thought it was another person that played Ultraman.
Most of the time, I see a clone of him.
Okay.
Yeah, that was weird too. Just like, yeah, a clone right off the bat. First movie. It was like, I know we're 3 years in and all that stuff, but I was just like, wow, like,
Mm.
you know, man, you saved the clone for like movie 2 or movie 3.
They, 3, I think, for Christopher Reeve. So, for me, this is 3 on my list too. But Superman, Christopher Reeve 1 and 2.
Okay.
That's the order. Just because, to me, you have to watch those together. Like it's like Godfather 1 and 2. You have to watch together. You have to watch Superman 1 and 2 together. And then I'd put this. After that, we can debate what comes next, but
3, 4, then returns.
And that's Superman 4. Nuclear Man.
yeah, I mean, I've watched them all, including even the Donner cut of 2. You know, like with everything, and there's good stuff in 3. It's not all great. There's some good stuff. There's even some good stuff in 4, but overall, it's not a great movie either. You know, so there's some good stuff in Returns, even though it's not a great movie. Like it's just, and then even Man of Steel, there's some good stuff in there, even though I don't like it. like there's stuff that I can pinpoint through all of them. Just be like, okay, at least I enjoy that. I enjoy that, but like to actually rank all of them, that's why I just stuck with the top 3. I was like, I can easily say that after that. But walking out of this movie, it gave me hope that depending on how they go with this, we'll see. But you know, I started with the death of Superman. Like that's what got me into Superman comics and Superman in general. You know, Batman, Superman, terrible adaptation of Doomsday. Smallville, you know, they did their take on it. Wasn't the real take.
It wasn't too bad.
You brought up Superman Lois. They did their take on it. I feel like this could possibly be the first time that the Superman Doomsday story down the road. I don't want to see it too. You know, I want down the road could have actually work.
Now with James Gunn's monster development, all his big bads look like shit to me.
Yeah.
The Kaiju look bad. The Star and
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad was horrible.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that was
unless
terrible.
it's a person, I don't want to see it.
Brainiac could be interesting. That
Mhm.
could be an interesting take if Brainiac becomes next. I mean, there's so much that you can do, and then it's like Brainiac could even be what they do with the Justice League. You know, like or do they go Dark Side for that or somebody else? But there's so much that you can do. Like they haven't even tapped the surface, and there's so much more Lex you can evolve with too, as we talked about.
You could just make this whole series just him and Lex going at it. For me.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. Anything else before we wrap up?
I just need this to be it. I don't need no more adaptations or no more liberties taken with Superman. I want to stick to one linear storyline, one focus. It'd be good. That's it.
I can tell you now that's not going to happen.
Lois for return season, just because.
This is possibly the next 5 to 10 years,
Mm.
and then someone else comes in that's going to get rebooted all over again.
We haven't did an origin story in a long time. Guess what? Origin story it is.
You're getting the prequel next. Superman prequel.
Smallville the movie. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in for our Superman review. Appreciate you guys hitting us up in the comments, continuing the conversation. Don't forget, tune in this upcoming Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch for our normal podcast, episode 251. We got a lot to talk about on Saturday.
A lot.
Yeah. So head over all our socials. Follow us. You see them down below at DumbMarksPod. Follow and listen on Spotify and purchase the merch at prowrestlingtees.com/DumbMarksPod. And again, we'll see this upcoming Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern for regularly scheduled program. See you then.